Hey, it's Lindsay with House of Zig, and today I'm going to show you how to make these adorable felt cookies. The best part about these, they're cheap, made with stuff you have laying around your house. It's fast and it's easy, no sewing machine, and they're durable. My kids have been playing with ours literally for years. The secret ingredients? Cardboard and hot glue. Match made in heaven. So let's get started. Today I'm doing 3 chocolate chip cookies and 3 sugar cookies, but feel free to mix it up, change the colors, and do whatever feels best for you. Okay, you need brown felt for the cookies, pink for the icing. The paint is for the color of sprinkles you'd like, so feel free to choose whatever you want. I use a mason jar for tracing out my shapes on the cardboard for the cookies, and the silicone mat is just for protecting my table while I'm using my hot glue gun. If you don't have that, you can also use parchment paper. When I did this, I used a total of 3 glue sticks, almost right to the end. And I used my rotary cutter and mat. If you don't have that, a pair of sharp scissors is great. Okay, so the mason jar is for tracing the cookies. I prefer to use the inside circle as opposed to the outside of the mason jar, just because the outside's too big for me. But also, the inside's a little bit too small. I'll show you what I'm talking about when I cut this out. I use my mat for cutting these out in a rough shape, and then with my scissors, you'll see I go around the edge, and I actually leave just a little gap because that's the perfect size of cookies for me. I know, it's a little crazy. So, just leave a little space if you'd like to, or make really big ones. This is perfect for fitting 6 cookies on 1 sheet of felt. Now, when you get the felt, they've got that awful sticker. Pull it off, and it's got a fuzzy patch. Make sure that goes on the inside of your felt food so you don't have a rough, ugly patch on the outside. Lay out your cookies. You want a little bit of space on each one that you'll be able to cut them around. I start with a hot glue circle. I go pretty slow so I don't scorch my fingers, and then you just apply even pressure and do some swirls inside. This next part, I know it looks a little weird. Push it down and give it a little rub. What that's going to do is seal all the hot glue into the felt super strong, and it also makes it nice and smooth so you don't have a hot glue coil when all of this is cold. So just go around, swirl all those on, and smooth them out, every single one. Now that those are cool, it's time to cut the felt sheet in half. Leave yourself between 1/4 and 1/2 inch. Stack the cookies on top and cut them out individually. Now, it's really important when you cut these out that you do not separate the back piece of felt from the front. When it comes time for gluing them, it will match up perfectly and you will have no guesswork. Just like this. The top matches, it's identical, and you'll always know that you have enough overhang of the felt so that you won't burn your fingers. Start with a circle around, just like you did before, and coil it into the center like that. Put the top on, flip it over, and smooth it out. I really can't tell you enough how much you need to smooth this out. It makes the glue stick so good. I have had some felt food for over 4 years, and my kids have not even been able to destroy or take apart any. Now that those are both done, it's time to glue the edges. Just run a thick bead of glue around the edge. I do about half of the cookie at a time. You'll actually want to do it thicker than you did before, and that's because some of the glue will squish into the spaces in the cardboard. And so you want to make sure that you have extra so that there's a nice good seal with the felt pieces. Continue rubbing and squeezing all the way around until you can see a nice good imprint of the cookie and the glue feels slightly cool. Okay, now that we've finished up gluing all the cookies, it's time to cut them out. You'll actually be able to feel a ridge of cool glue all around the cookies, so just follow that and cut each of them out. It's pretty easy, and you'll be able to know when you've got a good seal because they'll be nice and smooth like this. Trust me, your kids are not going to be able to pick those apart. Now it's time for the frosting. So I just take whatever color of felt you want. We have blue, green, white, yellow. We have all the icing colors. For this one, I'm doing pink. I just use the inside of my mason jar again, trace those out. Today we're doing 3 sugar cookies, so that's all I need. When I cut these out, I want them to have more of a natural look, so I actually am not going to follow the exact circle shape, but I make mine a little bit more wobbly so that it looks like real frosting. When you glue it down, just make sure to have the pen on the inside of the cookie, facing towards the cookie so that you don't see any of that. Okay, so when I do the icing, I put hot glue on about half to 3/4 of the way just because I do not want to be handling a tiny piece of felt smothered in hot glue. Yikes. So that one's already done. Now that that's cool, I can finish gluing the other side, and it's much easier just to put a little bit of glue right around the edge and then kind of fill it in right as I go. Boop. Just smooth that down. Okay, now for painting the sprinkles, I just use this really tiny brush that I have, and you don't need very much paint, so I actually just shake up the paint and then use what's left in the lid. I just paint back and forth, make little sprinkles, and I always make sure to make different sizes so that they look realistic. I do all of one color at a time, and then I switch it up and finish the other colors. It's really easy. Donezo! Now, it might not look as good, but you could always let your kids help and pick out the paint themselves. They'll love it. Now for the chocolate chunks, I'm using this paintbrush that has a square tip. It's nothing fancy, just one of those basic sets from Hobby Lobby that comes with a whole bunch of brushes. I just make sure to alternate the directions of the chocolate chunks and make some different sizes than others. That's it! I hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. Please let me know if you make these for your kids. And if you'd like to see more tutorials for felt food, subscribe to the channel so you'll be the first to know. Bye!